Hi there, folks. It's Jonathan Denwood here from WP-Tonic. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you some advice and insights about some of the choices you've got if you're looking to build a community online in 2024. The good news is there's never been a time where there's not been more diverse choices. The bad news is there's never been a time where there's more diverse choices out there. So knowing what's the real best choice for your particular needs and aspirations, it's never been more tricky. But do not worry, I've got tons of experience in this area. I'm going to be hopefully giving you some clear insights about what the main things you need to understand. I'll be back in a few moments, folks. So coming back, so you're looking at building a community online presence in 2024, and you've been doing some research online yourself, and you've just getting increasingly more confused. And I totally understand why, because there's a lot of different viewpoints. I've got my own viewpoint, but the reason why I think you should listen to what I've got to say is that at WP-Tonic, we build a load of community websites, and I personally have loads of discussions with people who are on a similar journey to yourself. So what are some of the key things you need to know? Well, there's totally free platforms out there. There's paid platforms, there's SaaS, software as a service, there's WordPress, there's a number of different options. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go through every possible option in this video, because it would be an extremely long video. And secondly, I've written a really fantastic article, and you'll find the link in the video description that does go through all the main options in a lot of detail and gives you all the links in one place. What more could you ask for? But in this video, I'm just going to go through some of the leading solutions and put them into about 3 to 4 buckets, so you understand the different fundamental choices you've got. So let's start with bucket 1, which is free. Free is fantastic, but there's normally some costs with free, and those costs are hidden, and they can really bite you in the backside if you really don't understand what are the costs of free. Now, one of the biggest free choices out there is Facebook groups. Really easy to set up. If people are searching for a Facebook group and the market isn't saturated, it can be reasonably easy to get that Facebook group up and running with some traction. Like I say, most people know how to join a Facebook group. One of the problems with it is if it gets to any size, to administrate it, it becomes a nightmare. Secondly, you have no copyright or real control over the content. There's no way to export it apart from copy and paste. You're at the whims of whatever Facebook feel at the time they're going to do with Facebook groups. You could end up with a similar situation to LinkedIn. LinkedIn had a thriving group platform, and for some reason, when LinkedIn got bought by Microsoft, they've decimated the LinkedIn group community, the wider community, and it's a shell of what it used to be, and that could happen quite quickly to Facebook. If they feel that you're covering a subject or you've done something that they don't like, they will just kick you out, lock you out of with hardly any notice. I've seen that, and I've helped people deal with that situation, and it's extremely painful. So it definitely has its drawbacks. And if you don't understand those, I personally would only use it as a stepping stone, or I would use it if it's only a minor part of my overall strategy, online strategy. But if it was my main business, I would use it, but I would get off the Facebook as quickly as possible. You want me? Another free option is Slack. Slack is a chat app and desktop app. It's utilized a lot in the tech industry. I use it every day myself. I have a total love-hate relationship with Slack. It is enormously useful. I just use the free product that just gives you 90 days because I just do use it for chat and any long-term correspondence that I think I'm going to keep. I use email. I use it for the people that I work on a daily basis, on an hourly basis in the WP-Tonic team. I personally wouldn't utilize it to build a community, but you can. There are a couple of people that I really respect that utilize Slack to build a very large community on. Um, uh, but they tend to be in the tech field. And I think the reason why they decided to build Slack is their target audience is already on Slack every day. And it's just easier for those people to communicate in a community that's also based on Slack. So I can see the logic. If that is not the case, I don't think it's a great option. There's another one called Discord. Discord is another great platform. The other thing with Slack is I personally hate the interface. I only use 20% of the functionality of it. And if I ever need any more, I have to dig around and do a search to find out how to utilize the interface. And I manage it, but it's never easy. And Discord is the same. Its origins are from, it was used for chat in gaming to build community when people were playing one-to-one or in groups in gaming, and it was used as a instant chat functionality, basically. It's built much bigger than that, and it is utilized to build community on. Um, I think you have similar problems with it as you got with Facebook or with Slack. And also, I don't like the interface of Slack, but when it comes to Discord, I rather use Slack any day of the week. I find the interface of Discord to be an absolute pain in the posterior, but you might love it. That's just my honest opinion. So that's some of the free stuff out there. Now, when it comes to SaaS paid. There's two really big players. There's more, but you've got Mighty Networks and you've got Circle. Mighty Network it comes. It did a pivot. It originally was a social media platform in the early days, and it was getting some traction before anybody really knew anything about Facebook. But then it lost its way, big way, because Facebook and some other platforms came on the scene and they couldn't adapt and they were incapable. But they had a load of money in the bank. So they did a pivot. So they went into the community platform, and they've been around for over 10, 12 years. And it is a stable platform that you can build a website, you can do a certain level of marketing automation with it, not its biggest strength, and you can do community. And you've got a lot more control than on these free platforms. But like I say, they do not make it easy in any shape or form to export anything out. If you ever stop using it or you want to move to another platform and you've built a big community on it, it's going to be an absolute pain in the posterior. It's like moving house. You take you 5 years to get over the experience. It's a really nightmare. It can get really expensive really quick. The initial charges to utilize it seem very attractive, but they rat it up the charges as you build your community quite rapidly. And they're notorious when you get into larger numbers in really fleecing the people that are using it. They do provide an app as well. It's one of the reasons because people get very obsessed about having the app at the early stage, where you really need to consider that when you've built a larger community. Um, they offer that at an attractive price, but it's fully branded with their own branding. And if you want to white label the app, they charge as much as they think they can get out of you. Um, the other alternative is Circle. Circle, it's really more aimed at bolting on a community onto an existing website, WordPress or Squarespace or Wix. If you're utilizing any of those and you need a community, you basically just have a button and it will go to the Circle community. They kind of aimed it at that. I think they're probably going to add more of their own community element, website building elements. I'm not sure, but I think I understand why they've done, because they're up against Mighty Network. So they're the two main choices, and they have a lot of differences depending on the mix of functionality that's really important to you. I'm not going to go into all that in this video. Like I say, I've written an article. You'll find the link in the video description. If you're finding this video really helpful, can you give us a thumbs up as well and subscribe to the channel? It really does encourage me to make more of these videos. Now, the third thing, the third bucket is WordPress. And WordPress has some options. One of the main option is BuddyBoss. BuddyBoss is a theme plugin hybrid. You can host it with, you need really good hosting for it to work. It's one of the main, your kind of cheap hosting at $10, $20. To really start with BuddyBoss, you've got to look at 35 to 55 to start off with. And as soon as you build any kind of real community on it, you'll be looking at a couple $100. So in that medium, it is similar price to what you would pay Kajabi or the middle price Mighty Network. So it's not overpriced. The actual plugin and theme will only cost you a couple $100 a year. So your main price is going to be the hosting plus all the extra other plugins that you're going to need to do email marketing and other essential things. But there's some fantastic plugin solutions that you can bolt into BuddyBoss. You will have a lot more ownership of the platform. You will be able to export the data and you will be able to move the website to another hosting provider. It's not something to take lightly, but it's a lot less aggro than trying to move Mighty Network into WordPress, because that's a frigging nightmare. And it costs you a lot of money. And like I say, it's almost like moving house. If you've got a couple of thousand members, get regular people wanting to do it because they just get fed up with the way they're treated by Mighty Networks. But I've been there, done that, and I'd rather that you started off in WordPress rather than having to go all through that. Like I say, I'm going to end it now because I don't want this video to be War and Peace. So hopefully I've dumped a ton of info on you. If you want some more one-to-one, you can go to the WP-Tonic website and you can book a free half-hour chat with me and I can try and help you as much as possible. I'll see you soon, folks. Bye.